I still can't believe I actually did this. One minute, we were just hanging out like any normal day, and the next, my best friend had me doing something completely ridiculous, with our dog on camera. And now, here I am, questioning every decision that led up to this moment. It all started when my best friend Jake came over with his usual energy, eyes full of mischief. He had that look, the one that meant he had a crazy idea, and I was about to be roped into it whether I liked it or not. Dude, trust me, he grinned, holding up his phone. This is gonna be hilarious. That was the first red flag. Our dog Bailey was sprawled out on the floor, totally unaware that he was about to be the star of whatever scheme Jake had in mind. Bailey is the kind of dog that just goes with the flow, whether that means dressing up in ridiculous costumes or getting way too excited over a new toy. But this, even he didn't see it coming. Jake, of course, was already setting things up, adjusting the camera angle and making sure the lighting was perfect. Okay, he said, rubbing his hands together. You ready for this? I wasn't, not at all, but somehow he always had a way of convincing me. The thing is, when you have a best friend like Jake, you get used to being pulled into all sorts of situations. Some are fun, some are just plain weird, and others make you question your entire life. This was definitely one of those moments. I glanced at Bailey, who wagged his tail like he was in on the joke. You better not get me in trouble for this, I muttered. Jake laughed. Relax, it's harmless. And trust me, people are gonna love this. He pressed record, and suddenly there was no turning back. Now, here's where things get interesting. I can't give away all the details just yet, but let's just say it involved Bailey, a challenge we had no business attempting, and a reaction so unexpected that even Jake was left speechless, and that never happens. The worst part? The second it was over, Jake turned to me, eyes wide with excitement. Dude, this is going viral. My stomach dropped. Bailey just sat there, wagging his tail, completely unbothered by the chaos we had just created. So, what exactly did I do? And why am I already regretting letting Jake talk me into it? Well, you're about to find out. I stared at Jake, still trying to process what just happened. My heart was racing, and Bailey, completely clueless, was sitting there like nothing out of the ordinary had just taken place. But I knew better. Whatever we had just filmed, it wasn't something I could take back. And the worst part? Jake was grinning like he had just won the lottery. Dude, he said, shaking his head in disbelief. This is gold. I swallowed hard. Are you sure about that? Jake held up his phone, scrolling through the footage with a wicked glint in his eye. Oh yeah, he said, nodding. This is the kind of stuff people eat up online. He turned the screen toward me, and as I watched myself on camera, I felt my stomach twist into knots. Seeing it play back somehow made it feel even more real. Bailey, meanwhile, let out a big yawn, completely unfazed. If only I could be as calm as him right now. How long do you think it'll take before it blows up? Jake mused, tapping his chin like he was already planning the next big thing. I groaned, rubbing my face. Jake, we don't even know if this is a good idea. That's what makes it a great idea, he shot back, wiggling his eyebrows. It's unexpected, it's hilarious, and best of all, it's totally real. People love real. He had a point, but that didn't stop my nerves from creeping in. I wasn't the type to go viral for crazy stunts. I wasn't the one always looking for the next wild idea. That was Jake's thing. He was the one who thrived off of attention, the one who could turn anything into an opportunity. Me? I liked my life the way it was, simple, predictable, and without a million eyes watching my every move. But now, that might not be an option anymore. Jake nudged me. Come on, man. Worst case scenario? No one cares, and we move on. And best case scenario? I asked hesitantly. He grinned. Millions of views, maybe even a sponsorship. Dude, we could be famous. I exhaled, glancing down at Bailey, who had flopped onto his side, completely uninterested in the fact that his life might be about to change too. Yeah, I muttered, more to myself than anything. Or we could end up regretting this big time. Jake just laughed, patting me on the back. Too late for that. The world is about to see what we did. And that's when I realized I wasn't ready for what was coming next. The video was out there now. Jake wasted no time. He uploaded it before I could even second guess it. The second he hit post, I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. There was no going back. I sat there, staring at the screen, watching as the views started trickling in. First, a few, then 100, then 1,000. My pulse sped up. Jake was practically bouncing with excitement. Dude, look at this! People are already commenting! He shoved the phone in my face, but I hesitated before reading anything. What if people thought it was dumb? What if they hated it? Or worse, what if they loved it too much? Bailey, completely oblivious to the storm unfolding around him, stretched out on the floor like he had just run a marathon. I envied him. He had no idea that he had just become the face of whatever madness we had just unleashed. Then my phone buzzed. A notification, then another, and another. I finally glanced at the screen, and my stomach did a flip. It wasn't just random strangers watching. People we knew, friends, classmates, even my older cousin, were seeing it, and they were reacting. Some were laughing, some were confused, and some were asking questions I wasn't sure how to answer. Jake, of course, was eating it up. Bro, this is insane. We're onto something huge. But I wasn't so sure. Because as the numbers climbed, so did the pressure. The video wasn't just a joke anymore. It was something bigger, something we weren't in control of. And that's when I started to wonder, had we just made a mistake? The notifications wouldn't stop. My phone kept buzzing, each vibration making my stomach twist tighter. Comments were pouring in faster than I could read them. Some people thought it was hilarious, others were just confused, and a few were taking it way too seriously. Jake, of course, was loving every second of it. Dude, look at this! He turned his screen toward me, showing a comment that had over 100 likes already. This has to be fake. No way they actually did that. I swallowed hard. What if people start digging into it? What if they try to figure out where we live or... Relax, man, Jake interrupted, waving me off. You're overthinking. This is what we wanted, right? I wasn't sure. The whole thing had started as a joke, just another one of Jake's impulsive ideas. But now it was spiraling. I could feel it. More people were sharing the video. Someone had even taken a screenshot and turned it into a meme. It was spreading, faster than I was ready for. Then, my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number, but something in my gut told me to pick up. I hesitated, then pressed accept. Hello? A pause, then a voice, low, almost amused. So, you really did that, huh? My breath caught. Who is this? The person on the other end chuckled. Let's just say, I know things. And I think you might want to be careful about what happens next. The line went dead. I stared at the screen, my pulse pounding. Jake frowned. Who was that? I looked at him, heart racing. I don't know, but I think we might have a problem. Jake's grin faded the second he saw my face. Dude, what's wrong? I held up my phone, still staring at the blank screen where the call had ended. Someone just called me. They knew about the video. My voice came out unsteady, my heart still hammering in my chest. Jake frowned. Wait, like, a random person? I shook my head. Number. They sounded like they knew us, like they knew what we did. For the first time all day, Jake looked uncertain. He grabbed his phone and started scrolling through the comments, his excitement dimming. Maybe it was just some troll messing with you, he suggested, though I could tell he wasn't convinced. But then, right as he said that, another notification popped up. This one wasn't a comment. It was a DM, and it wasn't from a stranger. I felt my stomach drop as I read the name. It was from Mark, my older cousin, the same one who had already seen the video earlier. Hey man, we need to talk. Call me ASAP, not a joke. Jake read over my shoulder. Oh, okay, yeah, that's weird. I didn't hesitate. I called him right away, barely giving him time to pick up before blurting, "What's going on?" Mark sighed on the other end. "Look, I don't know what you and Jake were thinking, but you guys might have seriously screwed up." My throat went dry. "What do you mean?" There was a pause. Then Mark said, "Did you even check where you filmed? Did you think about what was in the background?" Jake and I exchanged nervous glances. The video had mostly focused on us and Bailey, but we had been outside for part of it, near the park, near the sign. My stomach clenched. "Mark, what was in the background?" Mark hesitated, then said, "I think you guys accidentally caught something, or someone, that wasn't supposed to be seen." A cold shiver ran down my spine. My mind raced, trying to remember every detail of the video. It had all seemed so normal at the time. Just a dumb challenge, just Bailey being goofy. But now, with how fast the video was spreading, who else had seen it? And what had we actually captured? Jake exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. "Okay, so, worst case scenario?" Mark's voice was low, serious. "Worst case? Someone doesn't want that video out there, and they're gonna make sure you take it down, one way or another." I could feel my pulse in my ears. The weight of Mark's words sank in, and suddenly the video wasn't just some viral joke anymore. It was a problem, a real problem. Jake, for once, was quiet, his fingers hovering over his phone as if he wasn't sure what to do next. "Mark," I said, swallowing hard, "what exactly did we catch on camera?" Mark hesitated again, then sighed. "There was someone in the background, near the park. You probably didn't even notice them, but the internet did. People are zooming in, trying to figure out who they are, and from what I've seen in the comments, someone else already knows." I felt cold. My mind raced back to the video, trying to replay the scene in my head. We had been focused on Bailey, on the challenge, on making fools of ourselves. But in the distance, past the park benches, past the trees, was there someone standing there, watching? Jake cursed under his breath. "Okay, we'll delete it. That'll fix this, right?" Mark's voice was sharp. "It's too late. You don't get how fast the internet moves. People already downloaded it. They're spreading screenshots. Even if you delete it now, it's out there." The realization hit me like a brick. No way to undo it. No way to make it disappear. And now, someone, whoever they were, knew we had caught them on camera. Then, a new notification popped up. Another DM. But this one wasn't from Mark. It was from an account with no profile picture, no username, just a string of random numbers. "Take the video down. Now you don't know what you've done." I showed the message to Jake, and for the first time all day, I saw actual fear in his eyes. Then, my phone rang again. Unknown number. My hands felt clammy as I picked up. A low voice came through the speaker, the same one from earlier. "I warned you," they said, calm but cold. "You should have listened." And then, just as I was about to speak, my screen glitched. The call dropped. My entire phone shut off. Jake's phone buzzed. He looked down, then up at me, face pale. "Dude, someone just sent me our own video." I stared at him, my chest tight. Mark's voice came through the phone, urgent. "Guys, you need to get out of there, now." I didn't need Mark to tell me twice. My hands were already shaking as I grabbed my jacket, motioning for Jake to move. He hesitated for half a second, but then, as if snapping out of a trance, he bolted toward the door right behind me. Bailey, still completely unaware of the chaos unfolding, trotted after us, his tail wagging like this was just another adventure. I almost envied how simple his world was. We got into Jake's car, and he pulled out of the driveway faster than I'd ever seen him drive before. My phone was still dead, and the silence in the car felt suffocating. Jake kept glancing at his phone, probably waiting for another message, another warning. "Dude," he finally said, gripping the wheel. "What if they know where we live?" I didn't have an answer. All I knew was that someone was watching us. Someone had seen that video and decided we were a problem. Mark was still on the line, his voice urgent. "Listen to me. Just lay low. Don't respond to any messages. Don't post anything. This will blow over. I wanted to believe him. I needed to believe him. But deep down, I had a feeling this wasn't something that would just go away. We drove in circles for a while, trying to clear our heads. Eventually, we ended up at an empty parking lot behind a convenience store. Jake turned off the car, exhaling sharply. "This is insane," he muttered. I nodded, rubbing my face. "Yeah, and all because of a stupid video." A long silence stretched between us. Then, finally, Jake spoke. "So, what do we do now?" I looked down at Bailey, who was curled up in the back seat, completely at peace. I sighed. "We wait," I said, "and we hope that whoever they are, they lose interest." Jake didn't look convinced. Neither was I. The video was still out there, and no matter what we did, no matter how much we tried to ignore it, we both knew the truth. Someone was watching, and they weren't done with us yet.